Hey guys, it's Ben the Coin Geek at Old Pueblo Coin, and for those of you who are a little bit new to us, just one quick reminder, we do have a website that you can purchase stuff from, and we do have an eBay store. The links are down below in the show notes, and that's it. All right, so let's get carried away here with our commentary on the Mesa Coin Show, the annual Mesa Coin Club show for Coin Week in Arizona. You're talking about the fourth weekend, fourth Saturday and Sunday in January annually. And I don't know, this is like their 59th or something, or they've been doing it for a long time. And although the guy who runs the show, he's not even that old yet. So, but the Mesa show is a 2-day event on a Saturday and Sunday in Mesa, Arizona. Actually, it's really in the central part of the valley, closer to the airport, in a Shriners Auditorium. And the facility is decent. You've got big space, a lot of elbow room. And you've got something like 80 different tables or so with 50 plus dealers in it. And it's a nice show. I mean, if you're going to be around the Phoenix area in January, which next year I know you will, then it's definitely worth checking out and getting around because there's a lot of good dealers there. And so this is one of my first thoughts on it is, the dealers in that room, it's really a nice blend. And a lot of guys that I enjoy spending time with, that you can deal with, that have generally good personalities and good business ethics. There's always going to be some rotten apples, right? So just understand, just because you have a bad experience with one guy doesn't mean that everyone's a crook, kind of thing. But generally speaking, there's really a nice blend of guys there that you can do business with. Everything from people who specialize in foreign and ancient, and also better U.S. type. There's a lot of people there with raw U.S. stuff too. Just some comments and thoughts on the marketplace in general right now. Of course, dollars have all come back down in price, and by that I mean not everything, but a lot of common date dollars and 65 have come back down a little bit. Tone dollars have come back down a little bit, although that market's still very fungible. And of course, GSAs have come back down, but we've talked about certain areas of the market got a little too hot, and we're going to come back down. But overall, the salability of coins is still very strong. So in other words, it's one thing if the price points come down and you can't sell them. And it's another thing if the price points come down and you can sell them. Those are two totally different markets. And right now, the market is still turning at a very nice clip. There's still lots of business. There's still lots of guys, especially in the, how do I put this? Coins that are harder to locate still are somewhat easier to sell, if that makes sense, right? So semi-key date and key date coins, a nicer grade, are still easier coins to sell right now in this market. And it's pretty interesting to see the types of things that sell or don't sell at a market. So we're only 5 weeks away from the ANA show, and it'll be interesting in Phoenix to see what happens. I don't know what I'm going to bring with me because in 5 weeks from now, I don't know what I'm going to have left, right? So I'm always buying and selling stuff, so we'll have something there. But one of my other main thoughts on the market in general is just the difference between raw stuff and slab stuff, and how different that is than it was just a few years ago. And when I first started doing this, the difference between raw coins and slab coins was practically zero. I mean, you had collectors and dealers alike. I mean, they would buy a nice raw coin just as fast as a nice certified coin, and there was almost no difference between the two. Because collectors really weren't all looking for certified coins; they were oftentimes filling their albums. And I thought like 5 years ago that had really just kind of run its course. Like, okay, well, there's always going to be some guys that really collect raw coins and albums and stuff, and I speak hyperbolically when I say all the time when I shouldn't. But that whole area of the market, there's really a split between raw and graded. In other words, we get decent raw coins in, but they sell at a much slower pace than graded coins do in general, because more and more people have been raised with the concept of, I collect coins by getting them in these plastic holders, and that's how I collect coins. So, and there's another discussion to be had about all of that philosophy stuff some other time, but my main point is that that's just a reality of the marketplace. And so we'll have more discussions down the road about that. At the show itself, in general, I did sell some nicer coins, some more expensive coins. I had an 1807 $5 gold piece, an AU55 that sold. I had a lot of people look at that coin, and it's a big coin. I mean, it's like, almost a $10,000 coin. So a lot of people they got to think about it like a collector. You really got to sit down and like, well, am I going to buy that or not? But I did have a couple guys come back around to look at it a second time, and it was gone. So, that it's, part of your process of going to a coin show is understanding your parameters of what you want to buy, or what's a coin that you'll quote unquote pop off on, something that you'll buy right away without thinking too hard about. And that's the type of coin where I understand thinking about it, but also I understand there's not another one at the show. And so if it's on your list, you just don't hesitate too long on that one. So a couple big coins sold. Still strong on the nicer coins with high eye appeal. The other thing that I had with me, I didn't have much in the way of foreign with me. I had some ancients with me. My ancients didn't really move much, but I had gotten a group of nicer paper money in, and a lot of that moved very brisk to the point where I think I just need to learn how to price the stuff a little bit more aggressively on the retail side, because just because when you have good stuff, I realize when you go around the show how hard it is to sell this stuff, right? I mean, how hard it is to find this stuff. I said that backwards. So it's really hard to locate certain things and buy them. And so when you have something nicer, sometimes you just got to price it a little bit higher. But having said that, I did my research on what the notes were worth, worked them up, and I was actually pretty happy with how I did it all on the ones that I sold. So I'm not going to complain. I'm not going to look back and worry about it too much. So but when it comes to going to a show, this is the other thing that I observed, and this is something I know I started by saying that the coin shows, a lot of good guys there. I'm still fascinated when I see people who set up at shows and have stuff priced at 50% more than I price my things at. And I just think there's no way on God's green earth you're going to sell that coin, right? It baffles me. But lots of times those are people who are more collectors that set up, but sometimes they're dealers, like they set up at shows pretty frequently. And so, but I just think you're never going to be happy with your show. If we're doing show and tell, fine, you're here showing and telling, but you're not going to sell anything that way. So shows are kind of interesting that way. Getting out there and just seeing the different amount of price points that people decide to use on coins. I like to say that there's not really a set price for coins, but there's a certain point at which, like, okay, you're obviously off in La La Land right now. And so we all know people who are off in La La Land, and maybe that's me. So overall, Mesa is a show that you're going to want to go to next year. You're going to want to come to to Arizona next year, and we'll talk more about that some other time. In the meantime, good luck to the Super Bowl attendees in Phoenix. I'm not going to be anywhere near that place. For me, the Mesa show is nice. It's about 90 minutes away, so I can just get up and go and be home later. But we're 5 weeks from the big ANA show, so Phoenix has a lot going on between the Super Bowl and now and then in the ANA. But I plan on being at the ANA for all 4 days, and hope that some of you can make it out there. I know that some of you travel from the Midwest for the ANA when it's someplace that's not in the Midwest, so I hope to see some of you guys there that are traveling. And as always, thanks so much for watching, guys. I'm Ben the Coin Geek. You can leave your comments down below and watch more videos on the right side of the screen. Thanks.